Hello there and welcome. My name is Jessie. I am the founder and lead cool sculpting specialist over at Element Body Lab, the Dallas Cool Sculpting Experts. And I'm doing probably one of the most fun things that I do ever. I'm looking at before and after photos, and I'm going to be breaking down different types of before and after photos for different body parts, different body areas, different body types, genders, races, because my favorite thing about cool sculpting is how customized the treatment is and can be. This is one of the most powerful things that I've learned as a cool sculpting provider is that cool sculpting works, but who does the treatment makes a huge difference. So all of the photos that I will be showing today are photos of clients here treated here at Element Body Lab, the Dallas Cool Sculpting Experts. It is something I am so proud of. I'm so proud to participate in. I love being a cool sculpting provider. It's one of the absolute biggest joys of my life because I get to help people look and feel their absolute best. And that means I get to help them target specific parts of their body that they may have always noticed, things that they're bothered by and that they're seeing in the mirror. So one of the first photos that I want to show you, we're going to go through some abdomen and midsection photos. Then we're going to move on to some other body areas. So stick with me. So this is a gal who comes in and she says she doesn't care how big no matter how big she is or small she is, she just feels kind of fluffy. That she carries this volume through her abdomen and through her lower love handles, and she wants to pull all of that in to soften the curves within her midsection. So for her, in order to be able to achieve that goal, it meant we needed to do a couple of rounds of treatment to be able to target the abdomen as well as the love handles. So what you're seeing here is actually how those hand pieces were placed close. So to an extent, we've treated in an abdomen and along the love handles with the right sizes and shapes of hand pieces to be able to get maximum contact with our cooling panels and really natural looking results. And what she's left with, you can see there, is a really, really beautiful waistline, but also less volume through the abdomen. So she's one of my younger clients. And so she's in her 20s, she's active and healthy. And sometimes I have clients who come in who are a little older and who have kiddos. So I want to show you a different body type here. We're going to talk about a couple of different mamas. This gal has grown children, so kids that are teenagers or in their 20s. And ever since she had kids, she felt like she just had this extra kind of, she called it a mom pooch around her midsection. She wanted more flat abdomen and she wanted a little bit softer of a fold through her back line. And so she also did a diamond around her belly button and treated her lower love handles, but really high within that waistline to be able to sculpt a lot softer of a back line, as well as address the volume that she felt through her abdomen. So completely different body type and completely different look whenever it comes to the results. She also did a couple of rounds of treatment. And then I have another mama that I want to go through because I want to talk about the texture of the skin. So this woman comes in and she says, I don't mind at all. I know that I have some loose skin, some skin laxity and some stretch marks, and I don't care. But I care how I feel and how I look in a one piece. I care and I just care how I feel about how I look whenever I'm clothed. And I want way less volume through my midsection. And so for her, in order to be able to get full coverage of her entire abdomen, we still treated kind of in that diamond around her belly button or as the full abdomen goes. But we did some overlapping hand pieces through her lower belly in order for her to be able to get full coverage of that entire area and really pull in that abdomen. So her results look really, really natural because we were able to get full coverage and work on the pockets of fat that she noticed. So everybody's a little bit different with what those pockets of fat look like. So I want to show you a very different body type here. So this is a client who came in. She's very thin. She's very active, takes care of her diet and nutrition, and it doesn't matter what she does. She notices that small pocket of fat right through her lower abdomen. So for her, we used high peaked V on either side of the belly button to really, really slim down that line that you're seeing, that little pooch, that tiny little thing. And that's just one round of treatment to be able to achieve that goal. But people come in all shapes and sizes. So this gal wants a little less volume. She hates that visual drop off, the shadow that you see through her low belly. And she did one round of treatment to be able to get these results. But what you'll notice is that if she wanted to keep going or if she wanted to target her love handles, she could. Now for her, that wasn't the goal. That's the thing about CoolSculpting is it's a collaborative piece. It's a collaborative conversation. It's what do you notice? Our job is to make sure you get really natural looking results, but you may notice a different pocket of fat than somebody else. You may not care about the curve through your hips, but you really want less volume through the abdomen. You may want just a little bit more slimming and a little bit more tone right through the midline of your abdomen. And if that's the case, then great. Have that conversation with your CoolSculpting provider so we can make sure that we're placing hand pieces in an appropriate way to be able to get that result. You may say, you know what? I want an entirely new abdomen. I want less volume. I want more muscle tone. I want softer curves. And if that's the case, we can accommodate that too. So for this photo, I want to show you her treatment plan because it was a little bit more aggressive. This is still only one round of treatment. I've shown you a couple of multi-round treatments, but this one is only one round. But for her, we treated high in the waistline, low through the hip, the lower abdomen, and then the full upper abdomen. If you notice that she's got that nice long torso. So in order to be able to get full contact with the entire torso, so she had a shorter lower belly, but a longer upper torso. So I like to go through some of these, especially the midsection. I feel like it's the place that most people relate to whenever you're thinking about unwanted fat. A lot of times people say, you know what, like that's the spot for me. Doesn't matter how big I am or small I am, that's the place. But no two bodies look the exact same. No two people have the exact same goal in mind. So this is a male client that came in and he just wanted less fat through his abdomen. He didn't care about his love handles. He really just wanted less fat through his abdomen. This is after his first session. He has since done a second round of treatment with me, and you may have seen his before and after photo on our Instagram feed because we've shared his second round results because they are so transformative. But I like to show what even just one round of treatment will do here, just because I think it's so helpful. So for him, we treated both above and below the belly button because if we took the fat through the low belly away and we left that volume through the upper abdomen, it could make him look not natural. So for him, he thought it was just the lower abdomen and we were like, actually, we also need to treat this. But sometimes people think it's the abdomen and the love handles and they're right. And sometimes they're a little off. So we're going to talk about first case, that like first scenario. So this is another male client who came in and said, I have always had this shadow in my low belly and I hate my love handles. And we said, oh yeah, we can help with this. He's really, really tall. So this client, in order to get full coverage specifically on his love handles, let's talk about his treatment plan. So for his lower abdomen, we treated in a V shape on either side of the belly button. But for his love handles, we had to be able to treat kind of forward through the hips, backward closer to the spine, and also high in the waistline to be able to get that natural kind of Superman V look. This is one round of treatment, but a very aggressive plan to be able to achieve this goal. So different body type, different goal in mind than the other male photo that I showed you. And I got a couple more men that I want to talk about from a midsection perspective. So another male client who came in wanted to talk about his abdomen and his love handles. He's much shorter. I think he's about 5'7", if I'm not mistaken. He is eating right and hitting the gym and working hard, but he still has that curve through the low back that you see over on his love handle and that volume through the lower belly. For him, he really doesn't carry much volume through his upper abdomen, really not a whole lot of fat. So for him, we were able, very fortunately, to be able to just focus on the lower belly and the lower love handles. And this is one round of treatment to be able to get him this result. So sometimes it's the alternate. Like I mentioned, sometimes people come in and they think it's their entire midsection, but it's really just one area. So this guy comes in and he's like, doesn't matter how hard I work, my waistline's a problem. So for him, where he carries his fat is directly on either side of his hip. He's nice and tall. So in order to be able to get full coverage, we did have to stack a couple of hand pieces to ensure full coverage. Let's see here. Here is his treatment, perhaps like this. So in order to get full coverage, we needed a couple of hand pieces overlapped. Because CoolSculpting is all about the fat we take away, or not about the fat we take away, it's all about the fat we leave behind. If we leave behind that pocket of fat that you're seeing right in his waistline, what's going to happen is he's going to feel like he's got more of an hourglass. If we take away the fat there, but we leave the fat through the hips alone, then he's not going to feel supernatural. And for him, he had that pinchable, pliable fat, but some men have more fibrous fat. Some, even women, have this more fibrous, almost boxy look. And whenever that's the case, you have to be really creative and really skilled as a CoolSculpting provider to be able to deliver natural looking results. So for this client, we actually use these square hand pieces. They look like this in order to be able to get contact with his cooling or with his love handles to see a more impactful result. He did a couple of rounds of treatment in order to see this results. Whereas this client also kind of presented same kind of boxy look. We used that same placement and the same type of handpiece here. But for her, this is one round of treatment. We ever so slightly centered our handpieces a little bit higher on her to also notch out and enhance her hourglass and not just take away fat and slim the hips. That's the great thing about CoolSculpting is we can really customize it based off of your body type and your goals. Whether it's, hey, this pocket right here, it always hangs over. I notice it in my jeans, or I notice it whenever I wear something really tight fitting right here. Or if it's higher or lower, we can really, really focus on those specific areas. So now we've talked about midsection. I want to talk about some of the other places that we are known for and that we treat really commonly. The upper arm is probably one of the more popular treatment areas, especially in summer. We live in Texas where it's like sweater season for a solid month and that's it. But we wear tank tops a lot of the year. So this client actually had a brachioplasty and so she's had a surgical procedure on her arm. You may notice that scar along her arm. But the great thing about that scar that you see is that you can also really, really notice her result. She had one handpiece, one round of treatment to be able to target that pocket of fat on her arm. But some people have longer arms. They need a couple of handpieces with an overlap in order to be able to get that contact and that result. So this is a client who had a little bit longer of a arm and needed more coverage. So she needed two handpieces with an overlap in order to target that bat wing or that swing under the arm, the tricep area. So for her, this is her first round of treatment. She certainly could do multiple rounds of treatment to see a more aggressive result. But this was the goal for her and we hit it. It's all about the goal that you have. If it's just a subtle change that you're looking for, one round of treatment may be all that you need. That is why it's important to have a consultation to find out what is that pocket of fat? What does it look like? How aggressive of a result do you want? And our goal here at Element Body Lab, the Dallas CoolSculpting experts, is to serve as a guide, to be able to show you, hey, these patients, they actually had a similar goal in mind. They had similar texture, and this is what one round of treatment looks like for them. And if you are thinking about certain body parts, we can kind of point to some other places that may complement or may enhance the results. One of the places that really complements an upper arm treatment is this pocket of fat right at the armpit. We call it the axillary puff. But it's that armpit fat that you're noticing. Sometimes you notice this in a sports bra. Sometimes you notice it in a strapless gown. Whether that's because you are going to Vegas or in a wedding and you have this strapless gown, this pocket of fat is so stubborn, so hard to target with diet and exercise. And it's a place that responds beautifully to a CoolSculpting treatment. Sometimes it's about the texture too. And so I have another before and after photo. The one that I've got pulled up right now is just one round of treatment, but I want to show you a series. So this gal, she was like, this pocket. And I was like, look, pinch it, hold on to it. I want to take a photo just like that. So from her first round to her second round, she noticed a subtle difference. But from the first round to the third round, that's whenever it was really, really impactful. So as you can see, you can target all of these different parts of the body, shapes, places. I love treating chins, like jaw lines, because you can change someone's profile. This is a great and impactful place. We are all on camera so much. We're seeing ourselves on camera more than ever. We're doing these Zoom calls. I'm doing this virtual cool event right now where I'm breaking down before and after photos. And I think that this is one of the most impactful places that you can treat, because what you can do is you can target the pocket of fat directly beneath the chin, or you can really work on structuring for an entire jawline. So this client actually wanted more structure through her entire jawline. So she used 2 hand pieces, one here and one here, with a little bit of an overlap smack dab in the center, to be able to give her more definition. And you can see it like almost makes her neck look a lot longer. So she's a younger client, had no issues with skin laxity, nothing like that. I've got a little bit of an older client who's a male client that I want to show you too. So for him, he wanted that same goal, more structure through the jawline. And we talked to him, we can get rid of that pocket of fat smack dab in the center. We can get you a little bit more definition through your jawline, but there is this component of skin that you've got to be just aware of. And so if there is that conversation to be had, if you'd be better served by a skin tightening procedure or about fillers, while we are a specialist in CoolSculpting, we are well informed on other types of procedures that pair well, or just making sure that you're choosing the right thing. For him, he was like, get rid of this pocket of fat in the center. So we did a couple of cycles or a couple of hand pieces, one closer to the ear, one in the center, and one closer to the ear. This is 1 round of treatment for him. Impactful result for him, especially if you see him forward facing. He doesn't have that shadowing. His neck, also the length of his neck, if you look at the shape of the neck itself, it is so much slimmer. And then he could go about his business and worry about skin with a different procedure and a different provider. So it doesn't matter your shape or your size, the part of the body that you're looking to treat, whether it's your chin or your love handles, your abdomen, your arms, you can target places anywhere between your chin and your knees. I've shown you photos of both men and women. I've shown you photos of people who are coming in all different types of shapes and sizes, coming with all types of different textures of fat, different goals in mind. And I would be remiss to not be talking about my own personal favorite place that I have had treated. I want to show you some other before and after photos on the legs before we get to my transformation, but I want you to stick with me to the end because I'm going to show you my own before and after photo. So an inner thigh is a great place that you can target with CoolSculpting. You can see the inseam of her leg. So the shape between her leg has changed. We've given her a bigger thigh gap. This is 1 round of treatment. She could certainly have done more if she wanted to, but this met her goal. For some people, it's not the inner thigh that they're wanting to target, it's the outer thigh. They're looking to have kind of a softer curve through the hip, softer curve through the outer thigh. So if you're looking at that outer thigh, basically the curve at the widest part of the hip, we can soften that peak to be able to get a little bit more of a natural looking result. So where you're treating with that, I'm actually going to show you the spot that you're actually treating, or the spot that you're looking at. It's right there. So I love pairing these 2 places together because you can get an overall slimmer looking leg. And I want to show you my own personal transformation. So it's one of our most dramatic leg transformations that we show here because it was a multi-round treatment. So I had 2 rounds of treatment done to my outer thigh, 3 rounds of treatment done to my inner thigh to be able to get basically brand new legs. So I love my CoolSculpting results because I stayed committed to this. And I said, you know what? I'm all in. I want to do multiple rounds of treatment until the goal is met, and then I'll maintain it with diet and exercise. And so we targeted both my inner thighs and my outer thighs. I got slimmer looking legs. And now as I gain and lose weight, I gain and lose it in the shape that I have sculpted. I'm much happier with the overall proportion of my legs. I don't feel like I look so bottom heavy. And I think it's important to know that like I've been in your shoes. I've been there. I am a CoolSculpting patient. I'm happy to share my experience. I've treated my legs and my abdomen, my love handles. It's easier for me to tell you places that I haven't treated than I have because I believe in this technology. I've seen it work firsthand on me. I've seen the changes that it has made in me personally, but I have also seen the changes that it has made in hundreds of clients, in thousands of treatments that have been performed over the past 3 years. We are proud to be the first, best, and only CoolSculpting dedicated business in Dallas. All of our providers here specialize in only one thing. Our goal is to provide you with the absolute best CoolSculpting experience that we can, and we are constantly learning and growing. We're evolving technology and working to give you everything that you need whenever it comes to looking and feeling your best. If you have questions about CoolSculpting, or if you want our providers to go through and hand select some before and after photos of clients treated here that have a similar interest, a similar goal in mind, or the specific body area, I've shown you a handful of thousands of before and after photos that we have. We can pull out photos that we think would be relevant to you. We would be happy to do so. That is part of what we do at our virtual consultations. So schedule a consultation with our team. We're going to pull out some before and after photos after we've talked to you anyways. Or you can always DM us on Instagram. We're happy to do so there. We post a lot of before and after photos on Instagram, and they're all on our website as well. My name is Jessie. I want to say thank you so much for sticking with me. Thank you for joining me. I'm so honored to have you here and to participate in your CoolSculpting journey. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us anytime. And bye for now.